The story of David and Goliath is a timeless tale of courage and faith. It's a story that has inspired generations with its message of hope and the power of belief. It reminds us that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with faith and determination. This story takes us back to a time of conflict and fear. The Israelites, God's chosen people, found themselves facing a formidable enemy. Their faith was tested and their courage was shaken. It's a story that resonates with us because we all face giants in our lives. These giants may not be literal giants, but they are obstacles and challenges that seem insurmountable. The Philistines, a powerful army, had come to wage war against the Israelites. Among their ranks was a giant of a man named Goliath. Goliath was a terrifying sight, clad in bronze armor, towering over 9 feet tall. His presence alone was enough to strike fear into the hearts of the bravest Israelite soldiers. Day after day, Goliath challenged the Israelites to send forth their strongest warrior. The prize? Victory for the winner's army, defeat and humiliation for the losers. But the Israelites were paralyzed by fear. No one dared to answer Goliath's challenge. The giant's taunts echoed across the battlefield, mocking their courage and their God. Far from the battlefield, a young shepherd named David tended his father's sheep. David was a boy of faith, skilled with a sling and a heart full of courage. He had faced lions and bears to protect his flock, always trusting in God's protection. One day, David's father sent him to the Israelite camp to bring food to his brothers, who were soldiers in the army. As David arrived at the camp, he heard Goliath's challenge and witnessed the fear that gripped the Israelite soldiers. David was astonished. How could they let this giant defy the living God? He stepped forward, his youthful confidence a stark contrast to the fear surrounding him. Section 4. The Sling and the Stone. David's words reached King Saul, who summoned the young shepherd. Saul, impressed by David's courage but skeptical of his ability, offered David his own armor and sword. But David refused, saying, "I cannot go in these, for I am not used to them." David chose to face Goliath armed only with his shepherd's staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from the brook. These were the tools of his trade, the weapons he knew best, and the ones he trusted. He knew that God would fight for him, and that was all the armor he needed. As Goliath charged toward David, the giant let out a roar of laughter, mocking the young shepherd's size and simple weapons. But David stood his ground, his faith unshaken, his eyes fixed on the giant. Section 5. Triumph of the Underdog. With a swift motion, David launched a stone from his sling. The stone found its mark, sinking into Goliath's forehead. The giant, stunned and disoriented, crashed to the ground with a thunderous thud. David had slain the giant. The Philistines, witnessing their champion fall, panicked and fled. The Israelites, inspired by David's courage and faith, charged after their enemies, winning a decisive victory. David, the young shepherd, had become a hero. He had faced a giant and won, not by his own strength, but by the power of his faith in God. Section 6. Facing our own giants. The story of David and Goliath is a powerful reminder that we all face giants in our lives. These giants can be anything that seems insurmountable: fear, doubt, adversity, or seemingly impossible challenges. Like David, we may feel small and ill-equipped when facing our giants. But the story teaches us that true strength comes from within, from our faith, courage, and determination. It reminds us that with God on our side, no giant is too big, no challenge too great. Like David, we can choose to face our giants head-on, armed with the knowledge that faith and courage can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. And like David, we can emerge victorious, not by our own might, but by the power of faith and the unwavering belief that with God, all things are possible.